Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome family and friends to this wonderful celebration that we have tonight. Tonight we are celebrating here in Matthews, North Carolina, the book launch officially of our collaborative book, Faithfulness, Steadfast in Every Season. With me tonight in office, we have three of our wonderful authors who will be sharing a little bit about what they wrote in this collaborative piece, as well as their hearts. And I'm so excited to also share with you our authors who are joining virtually. This has been such a wonderful project for our authors to be a part of, where they share bravely and courageously stories of faithfulness that God has really moved in their lives. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our first author. She has been such a joy to get to know personally today. So if everyone could drop in the chat, show us your reactions. Everybody in-house, can you give a huge round of applause for Christine?
This is so exciting.
Christine, you're in the hot seat. Love it. In the hot red. Love it. In the hot red. Christine, okay, tell us your full name, where you are joining us from, and tell us your chapter. Your chapter title, sorry.
I'm Christine Cambaris, and I'm from Burlington, Wisconsin. So it's been a long journey down here to North Carolina. It's beautiful. Gosh, this has just been so wonderful. The name of my chapter is Held.
Held. Okay, first question before we go straight into your chapter, and if you're okay with this, may I ask you an icebreaker question?
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm ready.
She's heard about these. Okay, Christine. So I have thought about this when I was going to ask you an icebreaker question, knowing a little bit about you. I know that you are a woman of many hobbies and talents and likes to try new things. Are you someone who, when you're trying a new hobby, do you look for adrenaline, or do you look for something that is just something you've never done before?
I try to alternate them.
Okay.
So I just did a triathlon. So that was like physical, exertion. I really just try to prove to myself that I can do something that I never thought I could do.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's mental. Like I want to learn the piano. I wanted to learn woodworking. So it kind of depends.
Okay.
I try to alternate it though.
What's been the most, challenging adventure that you've pursued?
I think the triathlon was probably a really big one. Yeah. I mean, I exercise, but I mean, that was big. And I've never swam in the ocean, and I was certain, or in the water, and I was certain I was going to drown. So that was a really, really big one. It was a big fear I had to overcome. So yeah, it was a good one.
I am in awe. This is so amazing. Well, Christine, going into your chapter that you wrote, without giving it away, can you just tell us a little bit about what you wrote, and if there's one person that you were thinking of when you wrote it, maybe the person on the other side? What did you write about?
Sure. I really focused on my personal journey with my faith, but my son was the real big driver in that. So he was really my focus in this chapter.
Yeah. Jack.
Yeah. My son, Jack. Yeah.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I have two beautiful children. Jack is 27, and he has autism and cerebral palsy, along with a host of other acronyms. And my daughter is 29.
We have the pleasure.
Well, she'll be 29.
29. I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like writing in a collaborative book and writing about something that was so raw and real for you?
Yeah, this was probably the toughest thing I've ever written, because it was just so very personal. It was just really putting my heart on paper. So it was really a tough thing to write. The process, though, was so supportive. Like everyone here at Hope Writers was so kind and so supportive. The editing process was smooth. Like I was terrified to be edited, right? But everyone was just very supportive and interested in what I had to say. So I think it made it a little bit easier to do it in a setting like that. And we had many calls together, so I got to know some of the other authors and their stories. So it was just really a good experience.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's been a good experience. When it comes to, I always like to ask as a last question, if there is something that you could give as an encouragement, maybe to the person on the other side who you're writing for, or to a writer, what's something that would be a wisdom that you would give?
As a reader to my story, I think that I want people to walk away from what I wrote, understanding that it's never too late to talk to God and to turn back to our faith and to turn back to Jesus. And he's still there waiting for us. And he was probably holding us all along, that we didn't know it. So I think that would probably be my message. It's just never too late to turn back. Right? And nothing we can do can make him angry at us or hate us. He understands our humanness and still loves us.
Because you're held.
Because I'm held. Yeah.
Well, Christine, thank you so much for your time. And everyone, if you are watching live from home, please encourage our authors, give us some questions. This is what this is for, the real engagement. We appreciate it. But let's give a round of applause for Christine for joining tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been such a joy.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. And we have a few authors who will be joining us online as well. And so I'm really excited to get to be able to hear more from our authors who are joining virtually. And like I said, if you recognize someone, please drop in the chat, hey, we're cheering you on. It definitely means the world to have the support. But I have the pleasure of introducing our next author. And our next author, if you are ready, drum roll and applause, is Michelle.
Hello, thank you.
Welcome. How are you?
Good. Excited to be here.
Yay, we're excited to have you.
Thank you.
Can you tell us again? I've asked this before, so you'll know full name, where you're tuning in from, and then if you don't mind, I will probably ask you an icebreaker question.
Okay, no problem. I am Michelle Harder. I live in Concord, North Carolina, and the name of my chapter is Perfect Faithfulness, Experiencing God in Life's Hard Places.
This icebreaker question is going to be a thinker, so you have a second to think.
Okay.
Where have you seen God's goodness this week? Or maybe instead of goodness, where have you seen God's faithfulness this week?
Oh my goodness. Every day. He's faithful when we're not faithful. But truly, I would say, honestly, in this experience, this is something that writing and publishing has been on my heart for many, many years. And to get to partner with a publisher like this that makes it possible and brings the encouragement, it's been an amazing process. I'm just really been in awe all day. I'm just like, I can't believe this is actually happening. It's been amazing.
Yeah. Well, it's no small thing to reveal parts of yourself in writing and then do an audio podcast and show up on a Facebook Live. So we're
lots
really
of
grateful.
First today for sure. But God is so faithful. Like I just think, he put this seed in my heart, and then it's like, here I am. Wow. He's so good to us. So
that's true.
Yes.
Michelle, tell us a little bit about your chapter. What did it mean to you to be able to write this?
It honestly, I would describe it as it made the peril kind of worth it, if that, so to speak, to encourage someone else. I wrote about a time, it was actually a particular year, 2024, was really the hardest year that I have ever experienced up until that point, and since then. The whole year was truly just plagued with peril, one thing after another. And so many times I thought, can it get any worse? And sure enough, the next day it would in fact get worse. And there were times where I really felt very weary, and I thought, number one, how am I going to get through this? And secondly, God, are you there? Yeah. But as the book is called, I did experience his perfect faithfulness in the process.
That's incredible. I mean, I've gotten to get to know you a little bit more and find out more about what you've written, so I'm not going to give it away. Can you tell me a little bit about something that maybe surprised you about writing, or in the writing process? What surprised you? Is there something you learned about writing, or something about yourself that you learned in this?
I knew I've always loved it, but I've loved the process. I enjoyed having a deadline, truly. That makes a difference. It does, keeps you on pace. But I enjoyed, there were moments where I was like, boy, this is hard to relive. But the joy that I felt, seeing how God had worked throughout that year, and seeing how things ended and the things that I've learned since then, and the things that I point out in the chapter that really God formed in me and taught me during that time, that I now carry forward and try to pass on and encourage to others as they experience hard times. So it all kind of fits together. It reminds me, when the Lord says that there's like nothing it's not in vain, and nothing is, His word never returns void. And I really saw that play out in real life.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that's really stuck with me about hearing about your journey, has been that not only did you get through the hard moments, but that you've learned from those hard moments. So because life happens, right? Life be life sometimes, but you've carried those with you, and not in a way of like hardness, but as a means of growth.
Yes.
So I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Yes, it truly has been. Truly seeing how He works things out is incredible, and it builds your faith for the future.
Yeah.
When you remember what He's done.
Yeah. Oh gosh, there's so much wisdom in that. If you could give one thought or feeling to the reader, if there's something that you could leave that's a thought or feeling with your reader, what would that be?
I would tell them that God is perfectly faithful. Even when we can't see it, He's working, and He is always rooting for us. He always loves us, and He is using the hard things to shape us, mold us, and to bring Him glory. And He's perfect at what He does. So even when we don't feel faithful, even when we feel weary, He is perfect in His faithfulness.
That's good. Well, Michelle, it's been such a pleasure to be able to chat with you and to host you and talk about your writing. And I just want to say personally that being able to hear about what you've written is encouraging to me, because you have been through hardship, but it's not left on you. You're carrying what you've carried with such lightness and such faith. And so thank you so much for sharing what you have.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. All right. Well, everyone, can we give a round of applause to Michelle? Thank you. Wow. I mean, it is just such a privilege to be able to hear from each of these authors and what their testimonies have shaped them and taught them, and how they're using these testimonies to encourage other people. So we're so grateful that everyone has a story, and that your words do matter. But without further ado, I would like to introduce our last author who is with us in the offices. And so can everybody give a round of applause to Yankala. Yankala.
Hi.
I got it right this time, didn't I? Yes. Oh, you have such a beautiful name, and I know it has such a depth and meaning.
Yes.
So I wanted to make sure I got it right.
No, you did. You did great.
Okay, Yankala, tell us a little bit about you. Where are you joining from? What is your chapter?
Okay, so my name is Yankala, and my last name is Green. My name, briefly, it does have a meaning. As Leilani was saying, it comes from the Hebrew language, meaning queen, but even recently I found out it actually means more of an endearing term for uncles and grandpas in that community. So yeah, and I also, originally I was born in San Francisco, but I currently live in Seattle, Washington area. So yeah, and the name of my chapter is Come Back, God is Here.
Come Back, God is Here. Mm-hmm. Why did you choose to write in a collaborative book?
Well, you know what? I've already written my own book. I did a self-published project some years ago, but the collaborative effort seemed the right timing, I guess you would say, in God's timing for what I needed to share, what He wanted me to share. And it seemed a good space where I didn't have to write a whole entire book because of where I was at that time in my life. So it just seemed to work out right.
Amazing. Okay, without giving the book away, because we're teasing, tell us a little bit about your chapter.
Okay, so it's simple as it says, come. We know about Jesus telling people constantly, come to the altar, come and follow me, come and do this. And so it is the same prompt of just come, just come and see. They used to say, oh, come see a man. Yeah, come. Just come in, and he's still here, as the other ladies have said. It's like, yeah, he's here, and that's what it is about. I think is just coming to him, and you will get what you need. You'll get your questions answered. You get to sit like we're sitting. It's a very vulnerable, very open-ended time of in comfort, where it's like, oh, okay, I can sit in my comfortable chair. I don't have to be dressed up. No, you don't have to be.
The ultimate invitation.
Yes.
What did writing this piece mean to you?
It meant, honestly, it ministered to me first. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
It ministered to me first. And that's something that I think is unique about how God works with each person in a general sense. But then for me, at least as an author, it wasn't just, oh, well, let me create the best and, polished look. No, he said, no, don't play the game. Don't look all pretty first. No, put it exactly where you are. And I said, that's uncomfortable, Jesus. I don't want to do that. But that's what he puts us in. He's like, nope, get into this little corner that you don't exactly fit in yet. And I want you to stay there for a minute.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you say that too, because so often we talk about with our writers about the messy life of writing, and how editing being a huge part of writing is a part of that. And it's bring your words, bring your whole self. Don't the author of publishing is the enemy of writing is perfection. So just the correlation between what you're saying with writing and what you're doing, I find so interesting, and how it parallels. If you could give an encouragement to the person that you wrote for, without giving away your chapter, what would that be? What would that encouragement be?
Hi, friend. So just as I said already, just come and sit, come and be there, be present. And if you need to, and Holy Spirit, you're helping me with this, cry. Be as vulnerable as you need to, even here. Yeah, you're watching or whatever you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, but God knows, and He's there. He is right there with you. So you can slow it down just for a second. Don't scroll, don't pass, just stay there. Let Him be with you there where you are.
Yeah, it's so encouraging. I find it's so admirable, your relationship with the Lord, and just how unedited it is. So thank you so much for putting your heart into writing, and for sharing a little bit of the intimacy that you have with Jesus.
Happy to share as always. It's free. It's free. The truth will literally, I don't want to be cliche, but it does make you free.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Everyone, can we give a round of applause? Thank you so much. Wow. Well, this has been so wonderful to be able to hear from our authors who have joined us in Matthews, but we also have our authors who are joining us virtually. So I would like to...
There you
I'm
go.
on boat.
We got it.
We got it. I would like to invite our authors who are joining with us virtually to be able to speak to their writing. And first up, we have the loveliest Anita Shemba with us. Anita, how are you?
Well, fine, thank you. It's good to be here with you, even at the distance.
Even at the distance. Anita, are you, if you don't mind, I'd like to start off with just a question to ask about you. What type of writer are you? Are you kind of like the writer who you wake up in the morning and you have your coffee or tea and you're ready to write? Or you sort of like write on the fly, just whenever you can get words in? Tell us what it's like for you and your writing.
Well, I think at my age, I've learned discipline. And so I spend the first 2 hours of my morning in devotional time with the Lord. And I do journaling. Brian, thanks to your session this morning, I'll give a little plug. And from that, I think the various ideas come up. And during COVID, of course, then I spent a lot of time writing on emerging women in leadership. So sometimes it's the timing, but most of the time I would say it's a discipline of finding the time and making the time that we all have.
Yeah, no, that's so true, Anita. When it came to writing your chapter, was this something that was really easy to write about? Because you said that you're very disciplined, you journal, you write. Did this come from a place of like, I have done the hard yards, or was it more of a vulnerable piece, or a little bit of both?
Honestly, I've attended many of the webinars, so I was trying to decide, or my whole memoir. And I thought it would be easier, since I've been in a collaborative book before, it would be easier to write a chapter, but I think it was hard. After 8 decades, I have more evidence of God's faithfulness than 20 or 30 pages can hold. So it was more difficult. And my editor said, can you cut it down? And I don't think I did that well, but I did pick stories from different parts of my life where God really, truly kept his promise.
Yes.
And to others.
Well, Anita, it sounds like you do have a lot of experience with God's faithfulness, and I happen to know of a publishing company who'd be very interested in helping you express more of those words on that word count into a book if you're ever interested. Anita, when it came to writing this piece, can you give us a little bit of information on what you wrote about without giving away the whole chapter?
Well, because I'm at the mentor stage, I agree that people need to write their memoirs. They need to listen to God's command to leave some stone of remembrance of what he's done in our lives for the unborn or the next generations. So that was my motivation. I have 11 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren. And many of them are just very good people. Some of them are slightly churched, but I wanted them to have something in their hands, if it was the only thing they remembered, of what God had done in my life. We've talked about it, but after I'm gone, I wanted them to have something as well.
Yeah. Anita, did you have anything like that for you from past generation? Where did that come from, this conviction of legacy?
Well, I don't think it happened until much later in life. I was searching a long time and became a born-again Christian in my early 30s, not baptized until I was in my 60s in Senegal, Africa. So I needed the mentorship all the way along, and Bible studies in different groups in the churches that I belonged to helped. But I have often said, if that very first pastor I spoke to and said, how do I join this church, had given me a woman mentor and helped me discover my calling, it would have been great. As it was, I think my work through a Christian nonprofit opened the door to understanding that need. And it was, mentorship was there in various forms.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing that something that you're seeing that was a gap is something that you're now filling. You see that there's a need for mentorship for women to be able to leave a legacy, because that needs to be passed down. So thank you so much for your response to that call and your faithfulness there. I do want to ask one last question, if it's all right. Because you have such a wealth of knowledge and experience, what is something that you would say is a wisdom from maybe writing this testimony or writing down in terms of legacy? What is a wisdom that you would pass on?
Well, of course, with any writing, I would say, what does my audience need to hear?
That's very good.
But I think the importance that, again, Brian stressed this morning, journaling has really helped remind me of things I've forgotten. And so I would encourage people to journal. My journal has shifted more from a personal focus to a devotional type of journal as I age. But getting into the practice and habit, I call it the PB&J solution, not peanut butter and jelly every day, but prayer, Bible study, and journaling as a resource.
I
PB&J.
love that. I'm going to take that. PB&J journaling. That's incredible. Well, thank you so much.
PB&J is the formula, but the J is the journaling. Prayer, Bible study, and journaling.
There we go. Well, Anita, thank you so much for sharing, first and foremost, in this collaborative piece, but also sharing wisdoms that I know you have lived so faithfully through. It's been such a joy to hear from you tonight. Thank you so much. And everybody online and joining with us, can we give a round of applause for Anita? Woo! Okay, next up, we have Brittany McCarty. Can everyone give a round of applause for Brittany? Hello, it's so good to see you virtually. How is the sound going, the audio? Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. If you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you perfectly.
Great.
Well, tell us, Brittany, where are you joining from tonight?
Yes, I'm joining from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay.
And it's wonderful to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for joining virtually. I know it's so great that we have the technology where we can be able to talk to each other and share.
Yes, even from a distance.
Even from a distance. Well, Brittany, let me ask you an icebreaker question, and sure. I hope this is okay. Beach, mountains, or a cozy cabin?
Definitely mountains.
Okay, tell me more.
I say mountains because I'm a lifelong downhill skier and just love that environment. Would much rather be on a mountain than a beach any day, but beach sounds nice too. But I actually have always wanted to move out west to the Colorado mountains.
Yes.
Because I just think it's such a beautiful area.
Well, that's such an interesting fact to know about you, Brittany. Thank you for sharing. Can you tell us a little bit about your chapter? What chapter did you write?
Yes, the chapter I wrote was called Trusting God in the Wilderness Season. And I wrote that very much as a personal testament to the last 4 or 5 years of my life and how I've really learned to trust God even when it's hard. And for me, I made a note here, and for some people it might be trusting God through a season of waiting, or for a breakthrough in a certain area of your life, or waiting on a godly kingdom spouse. For me, it's been all 3 of those things. And I just had to remember kind of what I really learned was while God was not only refining my character, I learned to kind of be faithful to Him in the sense that I developed other areas of my life while I was waiting for things to change, and how I could best develop my skills and talents to minister to other people in my community, and even within my own family and friends, people at church, and above all, just being a godly example and influence as well. So that's essentially kind of what I have gone through, and what I have learned, and what I hope others can learn from that experience.
Yeah. Brittany, have you always been a writer? Have you written in any published pieces before, or was this your first published piece of writing?
No, actually, this was my first endeavor. I've always thought about publishing, always kind of wanted to do it, but just never really took the plunge. And this opportunity came along with Hope Books, and I just decided to do it. It's been a wonderful experience, and I'm just so grateful.
Amazing. Well, we're so glad that you decided to. Brittany, what is a hope-filled encouragement that you would like to leave with our audience?
Yes, I would say just remember that even in the silence, God is still working, and he works all things together for your good and his glory. So it's really important to just keep on trusting him even when it's hard.
That's very good. Well, thank you, Brittany. We so look forward to hearing more of your testimony and writing, and just look forward to our audience being able to pick up a copy of Faithfulness. Thanks so much for joining us, and stick around, okay?
Right. Thank you, Leilani.
Thanks, Brittany. All right, and we have one more author who is joining us virtually, and I'm a little bit biased. She's one of my favorites. I get to chat with her outside of the collaborative book, but I'll let her introduce herself to you. Her name is Elizabeth. Everybody, can you give a round of applause to Elizabeth? Elizabeth, it's so good to see you.
Oh, it's so good to see you too. I'm so glad to be here virtually with you all.
We're so glad to have you. Tell us, where are you joining from, and what did you write?
Yeah, so I'm joining from Central Florida in the Orlando area, and my chapter was about the faithfulness of God, even in the unexpected story. And I'll be honest, when I was looking at what to write about, the idea that the Lord gave me was not the one I wanted to write about. It was kind of a hard chapter to write, but that's what made it such a beautiful chapter. And so I wrote about how I've seen the faithfulness of God in the midst of being unexpectedly single. I always thought that I would meet my future husband along the way in college. We'd get married shortly thereafter, and that's all I ever envisioned for my life. And when that didn't happen, all of a sudden I was trying to figure out plan B and where do I go from here and what's next. And it did my heart so much good to reflect back on how I've seen the faithfulness of God, because it is just woven all throughout my story. So,
yeah. So would you say, I mean, it sounds like it's very deeply personal, the journey that you've been through with walking through God's faithfulness in this season. With writing your story, your testimony, would you find that it was more challenging, or did you find more of a surprise in writing your testimony in this collaboration?
Yeah. Oh, I would say I think getting started was more challenging than I expected. But once I started, honestly, I wrote most of the chapter in one sitting. It came, and it did my heart so much good to reflect. And as I was looking back, I was like, oh, and I remember I've seen God's faithfulness here and here and here. So it took a minute for me to get started, but once I did, it was a flood. So
that's amazing. So you've been with Hope Writers and Hope Books for some time now.
Yes.
Elizabeth, you're a woman of many talents as well. Can you tell us a little bit about what it means to you to write in a published book?
Yeah. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. This has been a dream of mine for so many years. This is my second collaboration book. And I honestly wondered the second time, I was like, am I going to feel the same way as I did about the first one? I do. There is something about seeing your words in print, knowing they are there, knowing they're ready to share with others, and just the work that God does in you as you write those words, and then knowing those words then are released out to go and to impact others. And, one of the things I thought about as I was writing this is, I realized a lot of people may have very different stories than mine. They may not resonate with some of the things that I wrote about, but we all walk through unexpected stories in our life. And there's something about when we share our stories, God uses it in ways that we can't even imagine. Even if our stories are different, someone resonates with that exact story, and someone resonates with other things that you share that are part of it, and we deeply connect as a result. And so it's just such a joy to see those words in print and know that this is only the beginning of what God does with them. So
Yeah, that was absolute gold, Elizabeth. I think we could swap now. You could interview. Well, I am just so encouraged by your faith and just your bravery to put out your testimony and to write with us, and look forward to your full book as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Everyone, can we give a round of applause to Elizabeth? Well, this has been such a delight to be able to spend this time with our authors and to hear about their testimonies. If you haven't yet, please go and purchase your copy of Faithfulness, Steadfast in Every Season. It is available on all major platforms, including Amazon. And, we've talked a lot about personal testimonies, and we here at Hope Books deeply believe that every person has words of value. They have a testimony to share. So if you have been thinking about writing in a chapter or writing a book, please contact us at hopewriters.com, and we would love to be able to chat with you. We have a fabulous team here who can give you a little bit of context on how to do so. But thank you everyone for joining. We are going to say a big goodbye, but our authors, please hang around. So one last applause for everyone who has shared tonight, our authors and also our audience for joining.